Good evening to you all. And today is day 5. We want to continue with our web hosting. So thank you, Emmanuel Kofi. Great to see you. Thank you, all of you, for joining. We want to move on. Each and every day, we have something great to cover. And tonight, we want to continue with our lessons on web hosting. Last Thursday, we started talking about the types of hosting, and we'll be continuing with that. So let me quickly share my screen and we will get started. All right, so welcome to day 5 of our web masterclass. Tonight, we are here to study about web servers and web hosting, different types of hosting, and we'll also cover hosting companies that we can work with. We've learned that when it comes to hosting, it is very important to choose the right company because choosing the wrong company can affect your business, can affect your website, and can affect your clients. Now, for over 3 decades now, companies providing web hosting services have been the reason we are able to go online. Right now, millions of new gadgets, devices, and things are connecting to the internet every day. More devices now than there are people. Think about that. Think about the data centers they provide and the thousands of web servers that fuel each one of them. These web servers are super powerful computers that connect to each other in data centers and other web servers across the globe. When people think that they are surfing the internet, they are actually exchanging messages with one of these web servers. These web servers form the cloud. They carry all the websites and multimedia files in the world. They provide file servers, database servers, email servers with over 99.9% uptime guarantee with 0% downtime. Altogether, setting the platform for the professionals we call webmasters. In this training, we are learning to become webmasters. And as a webmaster, your knowledge is not just in one field. You don't just learn about how to create websites, but your knowledge covers server management, database management, covers domain registration, domain renewal, domain transfer, covers web designing, covers email servers, and a whole lot. So in this class, we are going to cover a lot of skills that will prepare us for advancement in the tech industry and will lead us right into cloud computing. And after the webmaster class, we'll be delving into web development fundamentals, and then we'll fully delve into cloud. As usual, my name is Darlington, and I'm going to be your instructor for tonight. My short message for you again this time is that don't count the days, but make the days count. Let's make each and every day count. Let's make tonight count. Let's make today count. If you can make today count, what it means is that you are going to upgrade yourself tonight. Right from this class, you are going to upgrade yourself. And so let's learn everything we can in this lesson. I want you to pay attention. I want you to focus on the studies and get everything you need. If you have any question, the training we are providing you is intended to be a business training, a mentorship training, and we are guiding you through everything you are supposed to learn. And so if you have any question, you ever have anything you need clarity on, please ask your question, stop the class, ask your question, and make sure you have answers because we want you to have the skills that you will use in the field. So if you are ready, I'm going to play a short clip, a number of clips as we are in module 2 right now. I'm going to play a number of clips, and these clips will prepare the stage for this session, and we'll cover a whole lot of important concepts today. So let me share my screen again and show you these videos in VLC.
There was no out-of-the-box solution that provided what we wanted. We set the standard for a lot of it. We build it in-house, we customize it in-house, that gives us the control to rapidly address any sort of hardware issues or upgrade needs because we stock everything that we need to maintain and upgrade our servers in-house.
Everything we do is pretty much open source. We want open source because we've got the power to make changes. We don't have to wait on a vendor to decide, oh, this is important enough to us that we'll integrate it into the code. We say, no, this is important to us now. This is important to our customers.
There are some huge advantages to shared hosting if you can get it from the right company. If you can get it from a company that allows you to install your own software, that allows secure shell access and some of these other nice things that Bluehost totally does, then all of a sudden you have a platform that someone else takes care of.
We do monitoring on a lot of different scales. I mean, we look for active problems on the box, but we also proactively look for patterns that suggest that trouble is coming so that the customers aren't affected by a new hack coming down the line.
And that, again, just gives us much more control over the environment to give a better experience to our end users.
Our shared hosting really is a tremendous deal, even for people that have the ability to run their own servers.
A dedicated customer does not share the hardware with any other customers.
It's like having your own server right at home. Nobody else gets to play with your machine.
So with other providers, you might sign up and you get a notification maybe half an hour or a couple hours later that says your machine's ready. With us, you can actually start using it right away.
We actually install a hypervisor on any one of our dedicated machines, and that's actually what our customers are getting.
In traditional environments that use a hypervisor, part of the memory that you're purchasing is actually used by your hypervisor, whereas in our environment, we add additional memory that's not allocated to customers to run the hypervisor environment, so you're not losing out on anything that you pay for.
One of the things that we allow you to do is to actually manage your box. We give you the console, there's interfaces to start, stop, shut down, whatever you'd like to do.
While we give you dedicated hardware, you do not have to worry about maintaining that hardware. When problems happen, when things fail, it happens under the hood, you don't see it, we take care of it. You just keep running.
We're large enough that we can already have VPSs spun up ahead of time. When you want a VPS, chances are good we've got the VPS that's exactly right for you already set to go.
We use OpenStack, which allows us to run a private cloud in our data center. We can install operating systems, we can migrate things from here to there, we can make sure all of our capacity is used real time without operator intervention.
One of the key ideas around the term cloud is the idea of elasticity in resources.
You can add processors, you can add memory, you can even add disk space, and it's as easy as pushing a button.
You want it, you got it, it's immediate, it's elastic.
We have a terrific SAN product here. It's one that we built on our own. It's designed to be fast as fast can be. If you're on a benchmark, you'll see that it's extraordinarily fast storage.
When a customer writes to disk, we've got some caching layers in between the customer's storage and our SAN that allows that write to go through instantaneously.
No one else has this type of persistent, fast, scalable, partitioned storage. And it's all built on open source technology. And so as a result, we don't have to charge the prices that everyone else does.
All right, so we've been learning about the various types of hosting, and you've all seen the various types in the videos. We started learning about shared hosting, and we learned that with shared hosting, multiple customers or multiple companies or multiple websites share one server. Now, when hosting actually started, it started more from a dedicated kind of way until companies found a way to share the cost of hosting. And so with that, because of that, the price for shared hosting is very, very less. And so several clients share the same server. Over hundreds of companies can share one web server, and they can live on that one server, share the cost, and make hosting very, very affordable. Now, every customer has their own control panel where they manage their website. So in this hosting class, we are going to ensure that everyone gets access to a control panel where you can manage a website server on your own. And the control panel you actually have, it allows you to manage your website section on the server. And so you have access to the databases, you have access to the files, access to emails, access to all the various configurations and add-ons and everything that the server provides. Now, because of that, hosting has become very easy and anybody can pay very less for web hosting and have their websites online. However, shared hosting also comes with certain issues. For example, if one customer is over-consuming the resources, it affects everyone. If one customer gets the IP of the server blacklisted, it affects everyone. There are certain issues that will make shared hosting uncomfortable. And so someone may decide to move away from shared hosting into a more dedicated hosting. However, like we learned the last time, if you are able to get the right company, like Bluehost, we'll be talking about companies today, you can have shared hosting and still have peace of mind. So the kind of hosting, very, very few types of shared hosting that can provide you with the comfort you need to run your website without issues. You can do that with the right company. So apart from shared hosting, we moved on to dedicated. And with dedicated, we learned that the server, the entire server, is given to one customer or one company, and that company can decide to manage it, put one website on it or multiple websites on it. But the control of that server is given to one customer, and that is called dedicated hosting. With dedicated, you don't share with anybody. You have your server all to yourself. Now, today we'll be looking at the prices of dedicated hosting and shared hosting, and you will know whether to go for dedicated hosting or shared hosting. We also talked about VPS hosting, and VPS uses the concept of virtualization. So as tech people, we need to learn something called virtualization. Please put that in the chat. And with virtualization, you learn how to create virtual machines, and it's something you have to learn. Everybody needs to know how to create virtual machines. And so we'll definitely be looking at that on our journey, how to create virtual machines. And as you type virtualization, also type virtual machines as well. Virtual machines, because your PC, you can create multiple machines on your PC. And if you understand the concept of virtual machines, it is amazing. All right. You can create a computer on your computer. You can boot that computer, use that computer, install operating system on that computer, use that computer for testing, for running different tasks. And it's amazing. From one laptop, you can create 4 laptops on it, and it's incredible. So once you study virtualization and you practice it, you see how interesting it is and how it helps you to do a whole lot. Now, when it comes to servers, servers also go through virtualization and even more than personal computers. And so we have a type of hosting that has virtual machines on it. So the dedicated server has a virtual machine, and they have created multiple machines on that machine. So once you understand the concept of virtual machines, you really understand what we are talking about. All right, because if you create a virtual machine, it is a machine on its own. You can allocate hardware resources to it. You can allocate CPUs, allocate RAM, allocate storage just for that virtual machine to operate. And on that same computer, there can be other virtual machines. So your laptop right now, you can install 4 virtual machines on it. That is how VPS hosting is. On one dedicated server, they can install 5 virtual machines and sell each virtual machine to a customer. So a customer has the ability to use the entire virtual machine as their private server. So this is called virtual private server, and it's so interesting. And this type of hosting, because of the virtualization, we call it partition hosting because we configure it into several partitions, and the customer has their own partition and uses it as if it is a dedicated server on its own. Once you study about dedicated servers and virtual private servers, you understand that when it comes to managing the server, you are given the ability to turn it off, to turn it on, to restart it, and to install applications and install whatever you need on it. If you are using a shared server, everything is installed for you. It is just once in a while that you may install certain things like WordPress using Masterclass that we'll be looking into. You can install basic things. But if you are managing a dedicated server, you are actually going to handle a lot of configurations on your own, a lot of installations on your own, unless you ask the company to help you with certain things that you need installed. If not, you require more skills to manage a dedicated server than a shared hosting server. All right. We also got to clustered hosting, and this is an incredible type of hosting. And I mentioned to you that before I say that with clustered hosting, it is a type of web hosting service in which multiple servers host a single website. So with clustered hosting, there are multiple computers, multiple dedicated machines hosting a single website. Here we are not talking about two websites. We've gotten to the level where one website needs more resources, needs more than one server to survive. And after this, I'm going to show you how Facebook is hosted. Just hosting one website, Facebook, you will see how many servers they use to host Facebook. And so a time will come when a website grows to an extent, a time will come that the simple types of hosting cannot handle that website. So with shared hosting, if you get up to a number of visits a day, you will be overusing the resources. And so your hosting company, whether the best or not, they will still alert you that your server, your website is overusing resources. And so you should move it to a more dedicated server. So from there, you can move to VPS. VPS can handle your website up to an amount of traffic. Then from VPS, you can move to dedicated server, and dedicated server can also handle your website up to an amount of traffic. So with this concept, you understand how DDoS attacks works in cybersecurity, because once traffic is more, you can see how directly it affects the server. And I have experienced this firsthand on election 2012. I personally designed the websites that the election results were being published on for Multimedia Group Limited, Ghana's #1 media house. And that particular night, the whole of Ghana wanted to see who was winning the election. I was there managing the database and the server, and everyone wanted to see the results. In the company, almost all the heads of the company were in one room where the results were being collated, and everyone in Ghana wanted to see who was winning. We had hundreds of journalists across the country all collecting the results and phoning in. We had radio stations announcing the results. We have TV stations in the same company announcing the results. The same company controls multi-TV, so we have several channels, several radio stations, and the online platform, Anjo Online, was so busy. Because of the number of visitors, the website couldn't serve anyone. The website was going off. It will come on for 1 second and go off, come on for 1 second and go off. It was doing that till it was completely off, and no one could visit the website. The reason was that the traffic was more than what the infrastructure could handle. The traffic was more than what the hosting setup could handle. Now, this particular time, manjaonline.com, this website I'm talking about, was already on a clustered hosting service. In a clustered hosting service, You have a diagram like the one at the bottom here. We have the internet. When people are visiting your website, they go through the internet and they come to your server. Now, unlike other types of hosting, they don't hit your server directly. They meet what is called a load balancer. Please put please put load balancer in the chat for me if you are following. Now, this particular load balancer is what manages the traffic. So by looking at this load balancer, you understand how this works, and this will lead you right into cloud computing. And you understand that we have load balancer in cloud computing, and this load balancer is like traffic conductor. When the traffic comes to the load balancer is designed to distribute the traffic across multiple servers. So if there are 6 servers in the cluster, the load balancer will be sharing the traffic so that one server is not overwhelmed. Because if you are using one dedicated server, it is going to be overwhelmed. As a matter of fact, in that moment, I myself moved a tiny image from the website to a dedicated server, 2 small pictures of the 2 leading candidates. The moment I moved those files, because the website was not working, I wanted to save those files from another server so that it will reduce the load on the website. In just about 5 seconds, the new dedicated server went off because the traffic was too much. So this load balancer, it is given a number of servers and it distributes it so that the demand will not be on a single server. Now, this website I'm talking about uses 6 dedicated servers in the cluster, has a database server, and has a file server as well. Now, the file server is actually the server we actually load the website to. Listen to me, I'm talking from a practical experience. The file server is where we actually load the website files to. The website files communicate with the database to provide the content of the website. And this website is mirrored onto 6 mirror servers. So these 6 servers, what they do is that they mirror the website, and the load balancer distributes the load to all these websites. And so when the traffic comes, the load balancer decides which server should receive the traffic. Okay. I gave an example in the morning. I mentioned that, for example, in the past, when you go to the bank and there's a lot of queue, they try their best to manage the queue. And sometimes they will have an officer who will direct everybody that you go to this teller, you go to this teller, or you join this queue, you join that queue, you join that queue. And because of that officer, the traffic can be managed so that the place is not disorganized. All right. And so because of that, that is why we have a load balancer, and this load balancer directs the traffic across the server. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that I want you to think about. From what you have heard tonight, think about this. Now, if this particular infrastructure keeping this website had 6 servers in it, and the load balancer is distributing the traffic across 6 servers, now no one is able to visit the site because all the 6 servers have been overwhelmed. The entire cluster, what I'm talking about is not even a dedicated server. The entire cluster is overwhelmed. From your technical point of view, what do you think will be the solution? I need one person to speak. So if you think you can solve this technical challenge, because you may go to a university and the university may be having online examination that day, all students are online, and because of that, the portal is not working. You as a technical person, what will you do when you are faced with this particular situation? All right. Probably the university is just on a small dedicated server or maybe on any type of hosting, but you should understand what we are talking about. This time, I'm talking about managing a bigger website that is even on a cluster with 6 servers and still no one can view the website. I want someone to raise their hand. If you think you can analyze the situation and provide solution, please raise your hand and I'm going to call you and you tell us what you will do. So anybody who can tell us what you think the solution is, what we can do in this particular situation. So anybody, you can raise your hand and I'll call you and you tell us what to do. So let me get one person at least so that we can move on. So anybody who can assess this situation and provide solution, anybody, just raise your hand. Let me call you and we will continue. I want us to hear from someone, okay? If you understand what is happening right here, what do you think the solution will be? So you can raise your hand and I'm going to call you. Okay, anybody? Okay, just tell me what you think, all right? You don't have to be right or wrong. Just tell me what you think. So let me get one person speaking so that we know we are all following. So anybody, or should I call someone? Anybody? Okay, so someone is ready. Anybody, just raise your hand. Let me call you and let's do this. Anybody? Okay, all right, then I think I'm supposed to call someone. So let me just call someone so that we can move on. I don't think we want to stay here. All right, so as a technical person, let me call, please don't leave. Okay, someone just left, please. I hope it's a network problem. Please don't leave. All right, so let me call Emmanuel Kofi. What do you think will be the solution to this? So just unmute your mic and tell us what the solution is.
Good evening, class.
Yes, good evening.
So what I think is, I don't know the answer, but I'm just trying. What I think is that I will look at based on the duration that an individual has spent on the website and see if I can cut short those individuals to allow room for new people to also join to have access to the platform.
All right.
Thank you.
That's one way. And thank you so much. Any other? He has done well. He's given his opinion, and it's a great one. That is how he will solve this problem. Any other way? All right. So when it comes to clustered hosting, okay, we have Caleb, Angela, Caleb. So Caleb, kindly unmute your mic and talk to us. Yes.
Okay. Good evening. I
Yes.
can also try, not a right answer though. We can create something like a cookie where we distribute the students according to the servers. Like if it is Caleb, it is attached to a certain server, and the rest of the students are attached to the other respective web servers, so that I don't overwhelm a server which I don't belong to, something of the sort.
All right. So that's also a great contribution. That is wonderful. Now, look at this. When it comes to clustered hosting, apart from this load balancer you see here, these servers, you can install as many servers as you want, okay? So this clustered hosting is a type of web hosting in which multiple servers host a single site. So the website is on multiple servers. Welcome, Miriam. Good to see you. The website is on multiple servers. One website on multiple servers. Now, anytime you visit the website, you are sent to one of the servers, and that is where you load your website from. What happens is this. If something happens to one server, let me share this properly so that I can show you this. if something happens to one server, let's say this web server goes down, nothing happens to the website, okay? Because there are multiple servers serving the same website. So this load balancer will just not send traffic to this one, but will send the traffic to the available servers, okay? If a hacker is targeting the server and the hacker gets the IP of the server and thinks they are hacking, of course, there are other ways to attack a cluster. But if you find the IP of this particular server and you even take this server down, what is happening is that nothing happens to the website because there are multiple servers that are serving the website. And so the website will still work. Now, if let's say there are two servers, the only issue here is that these two servers are going to be overwhelmed. If the traffic is more, this means we don't have three servers to handle the traffic. We have only two. Just like people, if there's work to be done and there are a lot of people, you can see that the work can be easily shared. But if there are few people, you can see that there will be more load on the few people. So I'm talking about a scenario where we have 6 servers, but still they are all overwhelmed. So my question was that, what do you think the solution will be? We have 6 servers and they are still overwhelmed. From what I have said, what do you think the solution will be? All right, you can put it in the chat now. What do you think the solution will be if you have gotten the idea now? All right, so good. So what someone is saying is that I'm going to add more servers. That's all. That's what Richard said. Richard said, I'm going to add more servers. So to solve this, you need to add more servers. If you add more servers, it's like going to the bank and there are only 2 tellers. Look at this. You go to the bank, there are only 2 tellers, and one is eating and doesn't care about the traffic outside. Have you ever faced that at the bank before? One is completely careless, and only one teller is serving over 30 customers. Now, meanwhile, there are 6 teller booths there, and nobody cares to serve the customers. And you go to the bank and you waste all your time in the bank. By the time you come out, you've wasted your day. Now, if all the tellers are working, you can see that it's going to be very easy for customers to be served faster. All right. So if you increase the servers, what will happen is that the load balancer can start distributing the traffic across more servers, and the pressure or the load will reduce. All right. The load will reduce. So I think this is the solution. So that very night, what we did was that we increased the servers to 10 servers. And so we contacted this company that was providing us with the servers. And then we increased the servers in we increased the servers in the cluster, and all of a sudden the website started working. It started choking again, and we increased the servers to 12. So because we had 12 servers, it was very, very easy to handle the traffic. Okay. And this particular clustered service, you can imagine how much it will cost. But then for a big company can handle the cost because the website is also generating a lot of revenue for the company. And we'll be looking at hosting prices. All right. And this idea is similar to what cloud hosting provides. You see, this particular idea of managing traffic, you see, this thing is done with traditional hosting servers, but this concept, this design is what cloud hosting provides, that even small websites can utilize cloud hosting and have the same design. All right. So after I show you how Facebook works, I'm going to talk a little bit about cloud hosting. and we will see how cloud services operate and how hosting is gradually changing to cloud providers like AWS. But before that, let's look at how Facebook uses clustered hosting to host their website. The video I'm going to show you, I had this video in 2015. And so this video, you are going to think about it around that time. And at that time, Facebook in 2015 had a lot of customers. They still do. And we want to see how many servers Facebook is using to keep one website on. Now, a website like Facebook and the website I use for my example, myjoyonline.com, myjoyonline cannot compare to Facebook in any way. You can't compare them. It's like comparing Mount Everest to what? To a small stone. All right. You can't compare the two. Facebook is a giant website. All right. So let's look at how a website like a giant website is hosted using this idea of clustered hosting. So just one website. One website. If you do the research today, right now we are in 2024. Facebook is like 20 years now. The amount of servers that Facebook is using to keep one website up is now in millions of servers. And the data center you saw right now with uncountable, unending rows of servers, right now they are operating over 180 data centers across the world. Imagine such an infrastructure and how a website like Facebook is being made to work. Google is the same, YouTube is the same. The most powerful websites that we visit, they are all the same. Before I got introduced to this level of complex hosting, I had dealt with dedicated servers, VPS, shared servers, and in my mind, I thought I knew a lot because I had dealt with several situations, done migrations, done backups, done everything that could ever happen. But I had no idea that there were things that I never knew. And when I got to the environment where massive websites were being hosted, it's like all the knowledge I had became like zero. And I learned something very important, that you shouldn't feel you know too much or you know something or you know a lot, because there's always something you have not even seen before. And people know things that you have no idea of. There's more to learn. And I saw how multiple servers are hosting one website and how the servers can be scaled to make room for more traffic to come in. And after watching this Facebook video, I've seen how it can be scaled into millions of servers handling one website. You know, when you visit Facebook, you go through one source, the same domain name. So it goes to a load balancer, and the load balancer distributes the traffic, first of all, based on the CDN. We call something content delivery network. Please put CDN in the chat. This CDN is placed near your country. All right. And so in the whole world, there are CDNs around the world where we serve our websites from. So for example, Facebook, if Facebook is in California, you are not going to get your Facebook from California. The Facebook you are going to get is coming from one of their servers close to Africa. So there's a CDN close to Africa so that it doesn't have to travel far. You know, we learned that anytime you click something, it goes all the way to the server, it runs through the sea, and it goes and finds the information before it brings back the results. Yes, that is true. But powerful websites can do this in a way that it doesn't have to travel too far to make the time it takes to load longer. All right. And so you can place the servers closer to the customers. So the Facebook serving people in Europe is coming from a different CDN. The Facebook that is being served to people in the US is coming from a different CDN, and there are a number of them. So when I showed you forcemydns.com, the map you saw and those nodes and those marks you saw on the map, it gives you an idea of the CDNs we are talking about. And whenever your website is being propagated, it propagates across these networks. And a cloud provider can install their own CDN, and websites like Facebook, they can set up their own CDNs as well to ensure that their website loads faster to people around the world. Very, very important. Very, very important. So there are certain things that all of us should know about. Um, basic things like CPUs and RAM and motherboard and storage and BIOS and the chips and the slots of computers and the ports. They are basic things that you don't have to be a technician, you don't have to be in networking or hardware to learn them. They are basic things that form the foundation of our knowledge. So I want to find out in this particular class if everybody has a good hardware background, because as a tech person, you need to have your foundations right. Okay. So if everybody has a good hardware background, even before you learn software, you need to have a hardware background. So I want to find out if everybody has a good hardware background. If not, I've actually prepared I've actually prepared 12 important lessons about basic computer hardware that will take you through the fundamentals of computer hardware for you to understand the north bridge, the south bridge, the motherboard, all the ports and the components of the motherboard, the slots, the PCI slot, the BIOS chip, the CPU, the GPU, all this stuff. All right. So I've prepared some lessons, and I'm thinking of giving them to you. That is, if you would like to learn them. But it is very, very important that you build a strong foundation in hardware so that things like networking will be easy, things like virtualization will be easy, things like software programming will be easy, things like cloud will be easy. Because if you don't learn certain things, it's like when we are saying some things, you don't even have an idea what we are talking about. So if you want, I can share these lessons with you, but you have to spend the time and study them. Okay. So I told the morning class, they said they really, really want it. So this night I'm going to do my best. I'm going to share it as a course on its own, computer hardware. And I want you to spend time. There are 12 lessons. And to make it more serious, I'm going to design tests on them, and after you finish, you are going to take tests on them, and you are also going to get a certificate for the hardware training, because you can't learn advanced things when some of the basic things you've not done. So if you want, I'm going to share that with you, and I want you to spend time. Yeah, because in that particular class, I actually take my time. I put a video myself, and I teach the hardware very well. So I will share them if you want. I think only two people are interested in it. So since only two people are in it, I think I'll just talk to those two people. I don't think the rest are interested. So all right. So we'll give you time. We'll discuss it and we'll give you time so that you study on your own. There are 12 lessons. I don't know when you can finish, but we'll give you time. You study, then we'll take a test and we'll have certificates on them so that we will have real understanding to advance. All right. So this amazing way of hosting is the same design that cloud providers are using to serve us. All right. And so we have something called cloud hosting. All right. Before I proceed, cloud hosting is another type of hosting. Please put this in the chat for me. The concept of cloud hosting is similar to clustered, but it uses the cloud architecture that cloud service providers give. And with cloud hosting, even small websites can use cloud hosting to have the same setup of clustered hosting. And it makes hosting very, very flexible. The only thing is that it requires a little bit of technical skills to be able to handle this. And when you get to AWS, you will get into all of these things. And as a tech person, you need to grab this. And once you have this, you can also use AWS to host websites. But in the web industry, in the web design industry, and in the web business, it is a little bit different from the AWS and Azure cloud services. Okay, it's a little bit different, even though it is also a type of cloud hosting. We don't usually use these cloud terms in the web field. Okay, I have been in the web field all my life. We don't usually use this. Okay, however, today, because of the architecture of cloud services, cloud hosting is becoming more and more popular. And after some years, I believe that they are going to be more popular. And the way we do hosting today may fade out. And so, little by little, we need to start studying how the cloud instances and cloud hosting also works. So, listen to this. Cloud hosting is a web hosting solution that uses a network of virtual machines, all right, across multiple servers to host websites. So the cloud, if you look at the infrastructure of cloud hosting, it uses the same type of clustered hosting, but this time the servers it uses, they are virtual machines, all right? They are virtual machines. They are not really like dedicated servers like the way the main cluster is. This one uses virtualization that runs across multiple servers all over the world. So all the servers of AWS, and when we get into cloud, you will see how many servers AWS has around the world. They have virtual machines set up across multiple servers. And so if you are using cloud hosting, that is a kind of design you are having. Your website is not on one server. And with the way cloud hosting is designed, even small websites can begin with cloud hosting. The only thing is that it's a little expensive than shared hosting, but then you get the same design of a cluster at a way lower cost. So you see the cost and you yourself, you understand the difference. Now, unlike VPS, shared, dedicated, or clustered hosting, cloud provides greater flexibility. With cloud, the flexibility you get is so much more because if you have a lot of traffic, all you can do is to just scale. We have something called scaling. Scaling means you can make it big or small anytime you want. So you can just scale the amount of servers or the amount of resources, that's the word I'm supposed to use, that you need, and you can immediately handle any amount of traffic. And the way AWS is designed, you can't have traffic that is beyond AWS. All right. And It's not like your shared server that will have a limit, or your VPS, or your dedicated, or even your cluster that will have a limit. Okay, so it's like you have access to a large pool of resources, like the way you have electricity in your house and you are connected to the national grid. You are connected to a large pool of resources and you can use what you need at any point in time. And apart from the flexibility and dynamic scalability that we get, you also pay for the resources that you use. So it is not like a server that you can buy at an expensive price and pay whether you use or not. No, with cloud hosting, you pay what you consume. If you have not consumed much, you don't pay much. It's like pay as you use. Pay as you use. Please put that in the chat for me. Pay as you use hosting. And this you can do with AWS, you can do with Azure, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. Now, apart from all that I have said about cloud, it automatically balances traffic across all your virtual machines or servers and adjusts resources based on demand. Now watch this. It says that if one server fails, just like your cluster, if one server fails, another in the cloud network takes over, ensuring minimal downtime and high availability. This means that if something happens to one server, nothing happens to the website. This makes cloud hosting ideal for websites and applications with fluctuating traffic or needing scalable and flexible resources that can be easily adjusted for growth or changes in demand. So if today you have a lot of traffic, you can just scale, and it can also be done dynamically. If tomorrow the traffic is less, you don't have to be paying what you paid yesterday. It can reduce for you. So as we move more into cloud, and these are things that are now modern, we all need to get the skills of putting a website on the cloud on AWS or Azure. All right, we have to upgrade our skills this way because in future, this is what is coming. And in some companies, you are expected to know how to do these things already. Now, there are types of cloud hosting. We have what is called public cloud. And with this one, resources are shared among multiple servers on a public cloud platform like AWS. So the whole of the AWS infrastructure, your files or your website is shared across all of them. And when I finish this, I'm also going to talk to you about Cloudflare because Cloudflare allows you to have this kind of infrastructure, even though you are on a traditional server, like a shared server or a VPS or dedicated server. You can use Cloudflare to get the benefits of your website being cached around the world, for it to load faster, for your DNS to be managed faster, your propagation will be faster, and Cloudflare provides security. Cloudflare provides you with SSL for free and a whole lot of free things you get with Cloudflare. Cloudflare also has some paid services, but even with their free services, you enjoy a whole lot. All the websites we create, we will power them with Cloudflare, and you'll see how that is. All right. Now, this cloud hosting in the field of web hosting and web business, this is now taking over. This is not how it is or how it has been. Okay. In the web industry, things are a little different. Okay. But this is becoming more modern now. So we are going to delve into cloud and we'll see all of that. Now, apart from the public cloud, we also have private cloud where a company can have their own dedicated cloud that is not accessible by the public cloud that they use to host their infrastructure. This cloud can still be provided by AWS or Azure, but it is not on the public cloud. It is a dedicated cloud provided to one company. So even with cloud hosting, you can have dedicated cloud hosting, and your files are not shared across the globe on the public network. We also have hybrid cloud, where it combines public and private and allows some of your resources to be on the public and some to be on the private. And anytime you hear the word hybrid, please put that in the chat for me. Hybrid. So in tech, there are certain words that will be coming across. Last time we talked about payload, we talked about metadata, and today we are talking about hybrid. Anytime you hear hybrid, it means you have already talked about two things already. It's like something that comes after talking about two things. And anytime we mention hybrid, it means it is a combination of the two things. So once you say hybrid, it means it is a mixture of the public and the private. Anytime you hear hybrid, that is what it means. Hybrid doesn't go alone. Before you hear hybrid, you've heard two things, or we know two things already. And hybrid means a mixture of the two, or a combination of the two. Then we also have multi-cloud hosting, which uses services from different providers. So some will be coming from Azure, some will be coming from AWS, and this company decides to use multiple providers to handle their cloud. All right. While cloud hosting is very similar to clustered hosting, they are not the same things at all. So in the web field, we are going to see how things are done, and that is how things are. Things still are. But in the advancement of technology, cloud hosting is also gaining popularity, and so we'll be delving into cloud. We'll be using more of commands to manage our servers, and we'll be using things like SSH and Linux commands to manage our server. Please type SSH in the chat for me. SSH. Yes, SSH. So very soon you'll learn about SSH, and it is a way to write commands to instruct servers to do things. And you can do SSH on your VPS, your dedicated, even on some shared servers that allow you to do SSH. All right. So I'm going to move on to another type of hosting. I'll talk about two additional types of hosting, then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll continue. The next type of hosting is very, very important. Yes, secure shelf. The next type of hosting is called reseller hosting. Please put it in the chat for me. Reseller hosting. Reseller hosting. Let me see the first person to give me reseller hosting. This is another type of hosting. Reseller hosting. Now, reseller hosting is different from all the types of hosting we have talked about so far. With reseller hosting, let me explain to you before we read it. When it comes to reseller hosting, it is a type of hosting that companies who want to provide hosting services go in for. Let me explain it this way. Now, today, if you want to provide hosting services, there is no need to handle all the IT on your own. There is no need to buy your own physical servers. There's no need to power your own physical servers. There's no need for you to provide security on your own physical servers, hire technicians on your own physical servers just to keep your server up, which you can do, which some companies do, but today most of them have decided not to. Now, I'm talking about someone who not only wants to set up a server for their website. I'm talking about someone who wants to sell hosting to others. For example, in Ghana here, if you want to do hosting business, and there are a few companies here who provide hosting businesses, hosting solutions, okay? If you want to do hosting, or you want to do hosting business, let me put it that way, you don't have to go through all of this. All you need is a partner. All you need is a hosting partner that you get your service from. And as you get your service from this partner, you too can provide services to your clients. All right, so let me explain it this way. If you want to sell hosting, you buy reseller hosting. And it's a type of hosting that you resell. That's why the name is reseller. If I own a reseller hosting service, it means that I have the tools and I have the access to sell hosting at my own price. So what I do is that I buy a reseller hosting package and I manage it for my company. I manage it for my company. So all I have to do is to make sure that I have paid for the reseller package that I bought, and I can name my price and sell hosting to my clients. Tomorrow, I'll tell you more about this, and you'll see how profitable hosting can be. Because once you have a reseller account, you decide how to run your business, how to price, and how many websites you want to host. With reseller hosting, once you have it, if you have no client, you still spend the same amount to keep it up. And if you have 100 clients, you still spend the same amount to keep it up. And so what happens is that the more clients you have, the more profitable it becomes. I'll give you more idea tomorrow. Now, let's get the basics straight. Right now, from what we have studied so far and what we are going to cover in this course, you can start a company. I'm talking about you. You can start a company that you are promoting. And if you give attention to it, it can grow and become a serious company. I know exactly what I'm talking about. By the time you get about 5 clients, you start seeing that this is becoming a business. All right. I'm going to show you the kind of services you can provide. I told the morning class. With what we are learning in this class, this is what you can do. You can provide what is called domain registration as a service. You have whatever it takes. All you need is to have your card and to have GoDaddy or domain.com accounts. You are done. You can also provide web hosting to any company in your country, any school, any church, any hotel, any company, any business. If you want to sell hosting to them, you can sell hosting. How do you go about it? With hosting, you don't just take them somewhere to go and show them where to host. No, it doesn't work that way. You can host them. How do we do it? We get a package that is called reseller hosting. With reseller hosting, once you get it, it's like you have bought the right to host. So we are going to look at the price of reseller hosting, and you can see that the moment you get one, you have the right to host other companies, and you decide the packages that you sell. This is very important, and it's like the most important thing I'm saying tonight. It is a type of web hosting model in which web hosting providers like your company that you are starting allow some of all their web hosting services to be sold by an individual or third-party organization. So this is what it means. When you buy hosting, you can sell hosting. When you buy reseller, you can sell. So you don't have to take them to Bluehost. You don't have to take your clients anywhere. They come to you. You are the one who sells hosting. So if you want to do hosting business, you buy the reseller and then you sell. So with this type of hosting, a webmaster can run a hosting business, providing hosting services to clients and generating revenue from it. From this particular class, you are going to learn that you can provide VPS hosting, you can provide dedicated hosting, you can provide cloud hosting, you can provide business email services to people. There are a lot of companies that do not have not only websites, but they do not have business emails. Listen, every company needs a business email. It is wrong and unprofessional for a company to use @gmail.com, @yahoo.com. At Gmail and Yahoo are for private use. For individuals, a company should never use at gmail.com. It is unprofessional. A company should use at their own name.com. So with what we are studying in this class, it is a service that you can provide to customers. You can provide this service from the hosting server you set up for them to make that possible, or you can provide this service by connecting them to Microsoft 365 or connecting them to Google Workspace. By doing that, you can give companies professional emails. The company you are setting up, you can also provide website designing services. By the time we go through the web design module, you understand how easy it is to provide design websites. And you can easily design websites for all the companies and all the companies around you. So with what we are learning in this particular training, you can provide all these services I've highlighted. If you advance your skills a little bit, you can also provide web application development. All right. And you can also provide mobile app development. These are services that companies are looking for. Companies are looking for those who can do this. Let me tell you, the company near you, they know nothing about domain registration. They know nothing about web hosting. They know nothing about putting their website up or keeping their website. They need tech people to do that. We are the tech people. We are the tech people. We provide those services. And so we don't just provide these services anyhow. Package yourself. I like the way Nigerians like packaging. Package yourself as a company. Package yourself as a company. Get your first client, get your second, get your third, get your fourth, get your fifth client. Are you telling me you can't get 5 companies to build a website for? Then you are not really looking for them. Once you start telling people that this is what you do, once you build your own website, once you advertise that this is what you do, you will start attracting businesses. People will say, then do this for me. And once they can see something you do, and once you can build one website for someone to see, another person will also want some. And it will start growing and growing and growing. And if you manage it well, you can build a business, a company that can sustain you and you can do great things with it. Okay. All right. And as you advance in tech, you can keep on providing interesting services. All right. Anytime I'm teaching these things, it's like I want to speak to somebody to hear this message. I'm telling you that you can start a company. Someone has not heard me. I'm telling you, you can start a company. Just find a good domain name, build your own company website, and you start advertising. You can. Don't say you are working somewhere, so you don't need a company. Let me tell you, you need a company. You need a company. You need it. And this is something that can help you. All right. And as you advance in your field in tech, you can still build. You need to have a tech company. I think you need a company. You need a tech company. Whatever you provide, whatever you are learning, you still need a company. All right. You still need a company. You still need a company. All right. Now listen to me. From all that I have told you, and anytime I talk to my students and they are inspired like this, the next day then someone will come and tell me that, say, I want to buy my reseller hosted account. And I said, what? Okay, please listen to me. If you are now starting to set up, don't buy reseller hosting yet. Please listen to me. I am the one telling you what it is and why you should buy it. But I'm telling you that if you are now starting, don't buy reseller hosting yet until you hear what I have to say. If you want to get into the business of providing websites and hosting websites, if you don't have up to 10 clients or 10 customers, don't buy the reseller hosting, okay? Because you need to think about the costs of running the business. If you don't have up to 10 clients, don't buy the reseller hosting because you are going to spend money keeping the reseller server and you don't have clients to take care of the cost. Please listen to what I'm going to say. Until you have 10 clients, don't buy this. I'll show you what to do. And the second thing I'm saying is that don't use your own money to buy the reseller account. Use your profits from your clients to buy your reseller account. Again, don't use your own money to buy reseller account. Use profits that your clients give you to buy your reseller account. And the time you have a reseller, make sure that your clients are the one paying for it and keeping it running. Make sure the business you are using it for is what is paying for it. The profit is what is keeping it running, because every month you are supposed to pay for this particular server. And if you don't pay for it, it's going to go off and all the websites on it will be off. I'm going to explain how this works. This same way, when I talk about dedicated servers, then you see that tomorrow someone will come and say that, say, I bought my dedicated server. Listen, you are going to see the prices of dedicated servers, and you are going to know that these things are expensive, okay? They are expensive. So the fact that you hear about how amazing it is doesn't mean you should just get up and buy it. The fact that you can pay for the first month doesn't mean you should go and buy it. The fact that it can give you privacy doesn't mean you should go and buy it yet. The fact that you have an amazing dream, an amazing website, does not mean you should put it on a dedicated server yet. Before you choose a dedicated server, you make sure that you have no other choice, or you have the resources, or your client has the resources to manage a dedicated server. We are going to look at the price of shared hosting and dedicated hosting. If you get shared hosting from the right company, you are not going to have issues. I'm telling you, I'm the one telling you about the issues of shared hosting. And I am also telling you that some companies have taken that problem away in a way that if you have the right company, you don't have to be afraid of shared hosting. Because the website you are building today, nobody knows about it yet. Maybe only 5 people know about the website. Maybe only 100 people know about the website. And it's not worth using the power of a dedicated server for just 100 people who visit your website. You have to start with a shared hosting account from the right company and build your website for it to grow. When it grows, the time will come, you yourself, you know your website is popular, your website is doing well. Then you can move to a VPS. However, there are some VPS that the price is okay. All right, I'm just talking in terms of cost. If the VPS, the company giving you VPS has designed it in a way that it is not expensive or you can scale as you use, then you can start with a VPS. I know some people, they start their website from a VPS. But then you need to wait for the website to demand dedicated server before you go for it, unless, of course, you have the money to spend on the dedicated server. All right. Now, the reason why I'm telling you about reseller hosting that you shouldn't go in for yet is because of the next type of hosting I'm going to talk about. The next type of hosting, please put it in the chat. This is the last one I'm going to talk about. This type of hosting is called add-on hosting. Please put it in the chat for me. Add-on hosting. Add-on hosting. Add-on hosting. This particular type of hosting, you are not going to see it on the market that is sell add-on hosting. No. But it is a feature under shared hosting called add-on domains. It is a feature under shared hosting. It is a feature under shared hosting. So anytime you are buying shared hosting, you look at the packages. This time, some of the way they list the packages have changed a little bit. But in the past, you will see the storage space that you have as in the space that the server provides you for your shared hosting account. You are going to see the bandwidth you are supposed to use in a month. You are going to see the number of databases you have access to. You are going to see the number of emails you have access to. You are going to see the number of FTP accounts you have access to. You are going to see the number of add-ons you have access to. What I'm interested in and I'm talking about is called the add-ons. Add-on is an interesting feature in shared hosting that you can find in the control panel. Tomorrow we'll see the control panel. And if the hosting package that you bought, if it provides add-ons, what that means is this, very, very interesting. It means that you can add another website to your existing hosting account. And that website will operate as a normal website. A normal website, and you pay zero for it. You pay zero for it. So if your shared hosting account from the right company gives you 10 add-ons, this means that you can host 10 websites on the first hosting that you bought and pay nothing, zero, for all the 10 websites. If the shared hosting gives you 50 add-ons, it means you can host 50 websites without paying nothing for it. And there are some that can give you unlimited add-ons. This means you can host as many websites as you can without paying a dime for it because you already have an account that has the add-on feature. Now, let me tell you how it is. When you buy shared hosting, it doesn't mean you have a dedicated server. It means you have a shared account. Now, that account, you have a control panel that you use to manage it. Please type control panel in the chat. Tomorrow, we are going to enter into the control panel. And from tomorrow, your account will start coming. So this class, I think, is only from Caleb that we've gotten a domain from. The rest, we are waiting for you. You need to have your domains ready. Okay. After typing control panel, if you have typed control panel, also type cPanel, small c, capital P, and the rest in lowercase. Lower c, capital P, and the rest in lowercase. One word. Let me see who can type it well. Busimisi, correct. Caleb, correct. Emmanuel, correct. Richard, correct. This is called cPanel. Now, inside your cPanel, that is where you manage your website from. So the cPanel is given to shared hosting account. Anytime you set up shared hosting account, you are given a cPanel. All right. From the cPanel, you can manage everything regarding that particular website. We'll see that tomorrow. Now, if your shared hosting account allows you to have add-ons, it means you manage the add-ons also from the cPanel. And so any website that you add will operate as a normal website, no difference at all. The only difference is that add-on hosting, all the add-ons will live under that cPanel. This means if you hosted 10 websites, all the 10 websites need to be managed with that one cPanel because we don't have cPanel for an add-on. We have cPanel for the main hosting account. We don't have cPanel for an add-on. All right. And so the only thing you cannot do with add-on hosting is that you can't provide cPanel to your customers. Now, add-on hosting, aka add-on domains, is a fully functional domain hosting that can be created within your control panel. Think of it as having multiple hosting accounts sharing the same control panel. You can create email addresses, databases, subdomains, and more the same way you do for your primary domain. That is exactly how it works. The only difference with add-on is that it doesn't have its own cPanel. Now, let me tell you, I told you that if you don't have 10 customers, you don't need a reseller account. Now, let me tell you, your first 20 customers, you need to keep all of them in your add-on account. So if you are ready to do business, just find one shared account, and it's very cheap to get a shared account. And this shared account, you make sure you get one that provides add-on. Your first 20 customers, you put them under add-on. You can give them SSL, give them email, give them everything. The only thing is the cPanel you can't give them. And let me tell you, your first 30 customers will never ask you for cPanel because they have no idea what cPanel is. They don't know what it is. They don't need it. They just need a website. Okay? I'm talking to you from over 15 years of experience and more. Your first 30 customers will not ask you for cPanel. It is when your company starts growing that you will get to a point that people will start noticing your work and people will start coming to you for only hosting. If somebody comes to you for only hosting and not web design, then of course they need cPanel to manage the hosting they bought from you. By the time people will start coming to you for only hosting, you have bought your reseller account. So from your reseller account, any account you create will have a cPanel. Any account you create will have a cPanel. So you can give your cPanel to those who need them. But majority of your clients, they just need their website running. And you are going to manage their website for them automatically. Next year, they will come to you for renewal. Automatically, they will come to you to renew domain, renew hosting, and whether you work for them or not, you get money from them every year. Every year. This business, if you understand it and you understand how to manage the reseller server, you understand that, wow, you can make a lot of money from it. Look at this add-on we are even talking about. Over 20 companies can pay for hosting, and you are still not paying a dime for it. And every year they are still paying you, and you are not spending extra for it. It is the same with reseller if you manage it right. Okay, hosting business is amazing. Domain registration is amazing. Web design is amazing. Emails are amazing. All you have to do is to understand it and apply it with a business mindset. With a business mindset. With a business mindset. Do you mean one account can have more than one hosting type? What I mean is that if you have a shared hosting account, if, and the word is if, it's a conditional statement, if the shared hosting account you have provides add-ons, after the break, I'll show you what I mean. If the shared hosting you bought gives you add-ons, then you can go ahead and do add-ons. And if it gives you add-ons, you don't pay extra for the new website. You just host it through add-on. So you can host a site through add-on. You can host a site through reseller. And with a reseller, you create what is called shared hosting. When you start selling reseller, it means you are now selling shared hosting. All right. The only type of hosting that you have to buy and manage for your clients will be VPS, dedicated and clustered. That one you can buy from a service provider and manage for your clients. But apart from those big clients, all the websites and very, very few websites require advanced infrastructure. Okay. So 90% of all your websites, they need shared hosting, and you can sell the shared hosting. Please, it's like someone who has gone to buy something and they are selling. Okay, you don't have to tell your customers that go here and go and buy. I am selling it. You buy from me. All right. So you are going to sell and they will buy from you. And there's a way to set up your packages. And once you set up your packages, you can sell, and we can help you configure your packages, put your prices, and you can sell your hosting to your customers. All right. And please, you can start doing business, building websites for people. All right. So we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll get into the prices and the companies we can work with. Thank you very much. I'm going to see you after the break. All right, so we've covered all the types of web hosting and we are done with that. Tomorrow we'll be moving on to looking at the control panel and how we manage servers. Then after we talk about that, we will learn how to create something and put on a server. So this is a time that we need to start having your domains ready, because we are going to teach you how to write a simple script with HTML and CSS and put it online. Then you yourself, you are going to see the domain you registered, the hosting that was given to you. You can link the two and you can have your website on by yourself. Okay. So you create something and you put it up. Right now, we want to move straight into talking about companies that we can partner with when it comes to providing web hosting. Now, the first company I'll talk about is most definitely Bluehost. Bluehost is an amazing company. I've worked with Bluehost for so many years. Bluehost had a sister company called JustHost. I don't know if it is still there, but I actually met JustHost first before meeting Bluehost. And these companies have really helped me a lot to deliver and also to use shared hosting at another level. With Bluehost hosting, let me tell you, you will not have any problem for the whole year. If you host with them for 5 years, for the whole 5 years, you will not have problem. And if there ever arise a problem, they have a support service that will help you. So with hosting, find a company that provides customer support. GoDaddy does well, domain.com does well. If you've never talked to them before, try it. They have people there who are always there to help you. They are paid to help you. So once you need help, they will do everything possible to help you. With JustHost, I was also getting reseller from JustHost and for Bluehost as well, but they have stopped selling reseller. So now when you go to Bluehost, you realize that we have shared hosting, we have dedicated, and we also have VPS. And I believe I'm audible and you are following. If you are following, please put Bluehost in the chat for me. Bluehost, type Bluehost in the chat for me. Let me know that you are following. And I'm going to open to their website and I'm going to show you how their website looks like. The domain is right here, bluehost.com. And this is how their website looks like. So once you visit them, they have a beautiful homepage. They can help you build your WordPress site, and we are not going to let them help us because we are going to create our own WordPress site. So this WordPress we've been talking about, Bluehost is also promoting it, but we are going to learn it ourselves so that we can build for our clients and we can build for ourselves. Because today with WordPress, website projects that were taking months to complete or so many weeks to complete can be done in 2 days. In 2 days, you can finish A to Z, a whole website in 2 days through WordPress. It is an amazing thing. And when we get web hosting, you are going to see it and you are going to be amazed. All right. So right now we are only interested in hosting. If you come to hosting, you can see that they provide web hosting. And when you hear web hosting, what are they talking about? I've already told you, when you hear web hosting, what does it mean? When you hear web hosting, what does it mean? Who can tell me what it means? I don't know if anybody understands what I'm saying. No, it doesn't mean service. When you hear web hosting, what does it mean? If you want to buy hosting somewhere, and they tell you that they are selling web hosting, what are they trying to tell you? What does it mean? Or what type of hosting are they talking about? Does it mean storage? What type of hosting are they talking about? No, I'm not talking about what hosting means. I'm talking about the type of hosting, shared hosting. Thank you, Manuel. Okay. So this is shared hosting, and we'll go there, you'll see. So with Bluehost, my favorite company right now, they provide shared hosting. They also provide VPS hosting. You see, don't see hosting and think you are getting dedicated. Hosting is not dedicated. If they are talking about dedicated, you are going to see it spelled categorically that dedicated hosting. Because dedicated hosting is dedicated. You can't see hosting and you will assume it's dedicated. It is not. So we have web hosting, and this means shared hosting. Then VPS too, they'll tell you that this is VPS and dedicated. So if you need shared hosting, if you need VPS or you need dedicated, my top choice is Bluehost. With Bluehost, you'll have amazing satisfaction. Let me see if Just Host is still there. It's been a long time since I opened Just Host. You see, they just redirected us to Bluehost. It's their own company. All right, let's forget about Just Host. Let's come back here. Now, you can see that when we talk about cloud hosting, you can see that they put a tag here as new. All right. So I'm just telling you that with this cloud hosting that we use cloud service providers, it's a little different from how we've been managing hosting or how we actually manage hosting. All right. So learning hosting from cloud is something different from how the field is. And it is becoming popular and popular. And tech people, we need to have that knowledge because now companies expect you to know how to host their websites and the application using cloud like AWS or Azure. All right. Now watch this. When I click on this, you can see right here, what have I highlighted here? What have I highlighted here? Look at this. What have I highlighted here? Just tell me. So I clicked on hosting. Now you can see that shared. So hosting means shared hosting. All right. Okay. Look at these people. Can you imagine? They are doing Bluehost and Just Host side by side. What is wrong with them? So Just Host is here, Bluehost is here. Okay. All right. Let's forget about that. Let's continue. So I want us to see the prices of hosting. So when we come down here, you are going to see the packages they sell. Anytime you are buying hosting, you need to look at the packages. So they have one package here for 2.995 per month. All right. And they are giving you discounts. That is why you are getting it at 2.95. So this is shared hosting, and this is how much shared hosting costs on Bluehost. So when you are buying hosting, you look for the right company, number one, and number two, you look at price. So once you compare, you yourself will know where to buy your hosting from. All right. For this class, we are not going to buy hosting. We will give you the hosting and we'll give you the cPanel. So we are not even going to do add-on. We are going to give you cPanel so that you can learn with it. All right. Now watch this. They have a basic package. Now this basic package, you've seen the price, 2.95 per month. And usually when you see 2.95, it has a condition. Some of them will give it to you only when you buy up to a number of years. Okay. And because look at the discount they are giving you, 75%. So you should know that there are conditions attached. You can't just buy for 1 month and get 2.95 because some of them will also give you a free domain for 1 year. So if you are hosting for a number of years, at least for 1 year, because usually hosting is sold in months. Domains are sold in years. Listen to that. Domains are sold in years or registered by years. Hosting is done in months, but you can pay for 1 year or pay for more time. All right, now watch this. This particular package, I'm very much interested in what I'm seeing here. They are saying 10 websites. What is that supposed to mean? They are saying 10 websites. What is that supposed to mean? Because when I buy hosting, hosting is supposed to be for one website. So what do they mean by 10 websites? Who has an idea of what this means? Add-ons. Thank you, Richard. So this means that if you buy this package, watch this. This package will give you the ability to host up to 10 websites. This means that once you pay this amount, you are not going to pay for the next 10 websites you build, so long as you can utilize the same space. And websites don't occupy space. I've been in websites for a long time. Websites are usually in kilobytes. It will take time for your website to get to megabytes, let alone gigabytes. So this 10 gigabytes, you can use it to host a lot of websites. Now, they are giving you 10 websites, so that's your limit. That's amazing. Tomorrow, I'll tell you about the concurrent visitors and the number of visits per month. So they are telling you the number of visits per month. So someone is saying that, okay, how do I know that it's time to move away from shared? Okay, these people are telling you that this package, if you get 40,000 visits per month, then this package is enough. But you can double it and you don't have any issue. All right. They give a lot of things, including free SSL. Now, SSL, we know that we buy SSL from CAs. CA stands for Certificate Authority. That's where we buy SSL from. There's one certificate authority that is open source. It's called Let's Encrypt. This company here, they allow you to get SSL for free. So if you have a website, you can get free SSL from there and install it. Cloudflare also gives free SSL. And so you can, I would rather advise you to get your SSL from Cloudflare because it even comes with extra layers of security, malware scanning, DDoS, a whole lot, okay? From Cloudflare. Cloudflare also gives you the CDN. Okay, this CDN crowd, they are using Cloudflare for it. Okay, I'm speaking like a Ghanaian. All right, so DDoS protection, they provide DDoS protection as well, and 24/7 chat support. Wow, that's amazing. All right, now let's try buying this domain, sorry, this hosting, and we'll see how the process goes. Actually, my target is the second one here, but let's try buying the first one. If you want to buy a hosting plan, you click on it. Remember, we are on shared hosting. You can let them add a domain registration for you for free if you are going to pay for more than 1 year. If you already have a domain, you click on this one that you already have a domain. And this interface is only the interface of Bluehost. Another company will have their own interface. All right. So we know that with this package, even though it is affordable, it also comes with free domain registration for your first year. All right. Next year you renew it and all that, but at least you have it for 1 year for free if you are paying for 1 year. So let's choose a domain name. If you have your domain already, so you say africanhost.com. So when you are buying hosting for a client, you can think about it whether you want to keep your domain or use their domain, the free domain from here. But then you may not even buy shared hosting because you will use your add-on and you will do reseller hosting. So this you may not use, but then you should know all about it. So let's assume we want to register this domain. What they are going to tell us is this. They are going to say that if you pay for 1 year, this is how much you are going to pay, and you are going to save this. I told you that the discount, there is a condition on it, okay? Today, even Bluehost is allowing you to pay for 1 year. At first, before you get a discount, you pay for 3 years. So when you click here, if you want to pay by months, This is how much it costs. It is no longer 2.95. The 2.95 is only there if you are paying for more, at least for 1 year, because this is how much it costs for 1 month. If I change this to 1 year, look at how it will change. If I change it to 1 year, I'm paying 35.4. Wait a minute. For 1 month, I'm paying 15.99. And for 1 year, I'm paying 35. Wait a minute. Wow, that's a lot of discount. Let me calculate the 35.4 and let's see. So let me open a calculator and say that 35.4 divided by 12. Oh, okay, 2.95. This means that 2.95 they are advertising. You only get it if you pay for 1 year. That's fine, no problem. So you check it. If you are paying for more, the prices are also different. So I think 1 year is okay. And when you are done, you continue to cut and you just pay with your card, just like we paid for hosting. Right now, you are not going to pay for this yet. But like I said, if you are ready to do your business, this is the type of hosting you will need. I will recommend the second one for you. The second one, if you can afford it. If not, you can still go with this. But then you have only up to 10 websites. That means your website and 9 other websites. But with the second package, you can host up to 50 websites on 50 gigabyte SSD storage. And you are going to enjoy this for a long time. And if you pay for 1 year, you are going to get it at 5.45, just as we did for this. All right, so 5.45 times 12. That is all you pay for the whole year. Wait a minute. Let's calculate this. 5.45 times 12. So we have 5.45 US dollars times 12. If you can pay this, this is all you are going to invest in your hosting company. See, $65. If you pay this $65, you can take that same money. You can take more money from your clients, 50 of them, and you will not pay anybody anything for the whole year. So the thing is that the moment you buy this, now the only limitation is that you don't have 50 people to sell to. If you have 50 clients to sell to, they will all pay for hosting. And when you are selling hosting, the price is not as you see on these websites. You have your own price based on the market around you. Okay. And based on what you want to give the client. So you have packages that you sell. All right. So you are going to do business and sell hosting to 50 customers. You have paid $65 for the whole year, but you can provide this, and each customer will pay more than the 65 to you. And you have 50 customers to sell to, and you can host all of them with no issues. After running this, if by the first year, if you are serious about running a business, if by the first year you have up to 10 clients, you've done well. If you have up to 20 clients, then you are really, really serious. Then you move on to reseller. If not, you'll play this one for about 2-3 years. Then you move on to the reseller hosting. But trust me, this is business. All right, let's go to Bluehost and ask Bluehost to show us their VPS. So when I came to Bluehost and VPS, this is what I saw. These are the packages for VPS. Please, with all the discount they are giving you, this is how much VPS costs at Bluehost per month. All right, there are some other places where you can get VPS way less than $10 per month. All right, but on Bluehost, the VPS they are selling, look at this, 46.99 per month. This is a lot of money. These are the features you get. When you talk about VPS and dedicated, we no longer talk about features of a hosting account. We start talking about a machine, because with VPS, they give you a virtual machine. So we are talking about a machine that has 2 virtual core CPU, 4 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. That's amazing. 100 gigabytes of storage and unlimited bandwidth. When you hear unlimited, it means unlimited, unlimited. So we even have hosting packages that will give you unlimited storage and even unlimited websites or unlimited websites. If your storage is unlimited, that means there is no limit. But here you have 100 gigabytes of storage, and that is really good. With this one, you have 200 gigabytes of storage. This one, you have 450 gigabytes of storage. But compare the price here to shared hosting. You can see the difference. Let's move on to dedicated hosting and let's see the price. When I came to dedicated hosting on Bluehost, this is what I got. You can see from here dedicated. This is what I got. For 1 month, $141 a month. For 1 year, how much do you think their basic VIP dedicated server will cost? This is going to run into $1,000 and more for 1 year. More than that, right? And it is expensive. And look at this one. Calculate this for 1 year. That is a lot of money. Now, what this server will provide to you, let me tell you something here. This one will do the same job because your website is new. If your website is new, for the first 1 year, first 2 years, probably first 3 years, this shared hosting can do the same job that you are buying this for. So this becomes over a waste of resources in terms of computing power, in terms of hardware and infrastructure resources, because you don't need that computing power to host a new website. A new website doesn't require too much resources unless you yourself make the decision to buy this just for privacy. But there is no need, absolutely no need to do that. You just need shared from Bluehost and you have the same privacy. All right. Now let's go to another company and we also compare their VPS and dedicated and see. So the companies I'm giving you, I'll give you their recommendations here. So for this company, you can buy shared, buy dedicated, buy reseller. iWeb, powered by LeaseWeb. This company used to be called iWeb, but this morning I discovered that they have rebranded the domain and redirected it to LeaseWeb. So LeaseWeb is actually behind iWeb. But this particular company, the election 2012 story I gave you, they were behind the web servers of MyNigeriaOnline.com. iWeb was a company supplying MyNigeriaOnline.com. And so on iWeb, you can get clustered hosting from iWeb. You can get dedicated hosting from iWeb. They have changed their name to LeaseWeb. I don't know why they'll do that. But when you type iWeb.com, they still have iWeb.com, but they'll redirect you to LeaseWeb. Why would they do that? I think iWeb sounds better than LeaseWeb. Maybe they have their own business reason why they will redirect to LeaseWeb. All right. So over here, you can get amazing dedicated servers. So they are into dedicated servers and advanced infrastructure hosting. With this particular company, we talk about hosting bigger clients. So if you are not dealing with a massive company, then you don't need this company, all right? But if you have a massive company and you need massive infrastructure, you are dealing with a top university, you are dealing with a government, well, you won't deal with government, but you are dealing with a top company in terms of the infrastructure and the setup that you need. You are working for a popular TV station that needs advanced infrastructure to keep their online platform working. You are dealing with a national level website, then this is the company you talk to. and they will help you. Now, the support you see from these companies, they are amazing. Once you request for support, they are going to work with you. All right, they are going to work with you. So here they sell their Xeon Dell machines. These are dedicated machines. And here, when you come here, you talk about machines. All right, and they can help you set up high power, high performance servers. They can help you with classes. Just tell them what you need. They can help you configure everything you need. And they also have interesting prices that they charge. All right. So this is my recommendation for big business. Now, for me, for so many years, the company that helped me with reseller hosting was called Host9. Host9, 2 years ago, I just discovered that they have sold the company to another company called A Small Orange. Even before they became Host9, that they operated for a number of years, like 7 years, it used to be called a company called Certex Hosting. And this Certex Hosting was doing well. I started with Certex Hosting. After some years, they told me they have rebranded to Host9. I worked with Host9 for more than 10 years. After that, they told me in 2022 that they have now rebranded to A Small Orange. I didn't know why a company should be called A Small Orange. All right, I said no problem. So I was dealing with A Small Orange. When I started dealing with A Small Orange, I saw that no, a lot of things have changed and a lot of the features we were enjoying have changed. However, their old customers, they don't disturb us too much. We still use most of the old platforms and the old features we already have. But for new customers, you are going to realize that it is more expensive and you have fewer resources. So A Small Orange was not doing well for me at all. And there were even things that were affecting the old customers like me. But then today, I realized that they've sold the company again. So let me go to host9.com, my favorite reseller hosting company, host9.com. And they sold to A Small Orange. And today they have sold it and rebranded as web.com. So in the morning when I came here, I was like, wait a minute, where am I? Then I saw this. You are in the right place. I said, what? I checked and they said A Small Orange plus web.com. A Small Orange is partnering with web.com. Okay, fine, no problem. But web.com had been there for a long time as well. So why is A Small Orange partnering with web.com? All right, no problem. Let me try doing business. And whatever I do, I think they take me straight to web.com and I work with web.com. So this particular company is now web.com. Let me check the hosting they are selling. And for me, I'm interested in reseller hosting. I came to web.com in the morning and I didn't even see reseller hosting over here. I didn't see reseller hosting on web.com. So, and I think web.com, they also work with domain.com. Can you see this over here? So it is probably the same company that owns domain.com. So they are also sharing this like this. All right, probably. I don't know yet. You can find out. Because I work with Just Host for a long time. I work with Bluehost for a long time. And I just noticed that there are a lot of similarities. One day I asked one of their support agents that, is it the same company? And they confirmed it. So this web.com, yeah, probably the same as domain.com. All right, so no longer getting my reseller hosting. I don't know if it is anywhere. I'm not getting reseller hosting. I've checked on this website. I'm not getting reseller hosting. So I'm going to put this one aside for reseller hosting. I'm not even going to talk about them much, but I think they are good because if A Small Orange will be working with them, then they are okay. So with this particular package, you get only one website. Most shared hosting, you get one website. That's a normal shared hosting. There are some, they allow you to get more than one website. So that is the add-on feature. And you can see that with Bluehost, you get more add-ons. So that is fine. You see here, they talk about FTP, they talk about bandwidth. This 50K visitors per month. Okay. Then 20K web storage and all that. Bandwidth is unlimited. They have SSL and all that. All right. So let me now give you a company for reseller hosting, because my host 9, I'm going to take it out of my presentations because they have rebranded. So the next company I'm going to give you here is called SiteGround. And this SiteGround is a great company for reseller hosting. So once you come here, you can see the type of hosting they provide. They provide web hosting, and when you hear web hosting, it means shared hosting. They provide cloud hosting that we talked about, and they also provide reseller hosting. So when you go to reseller hosting, we are going to see the packages they provide. From all the packages I have seen so far, I will recommend this particular website as one of the best because they give you unlimited websites to host. So if you get this, this is how much it costs to own the reseller. The reseller we've been talking about. Other places, it is expensive and there are a lot of inconvenience. But over here, you can see that with this package, you can even use $6 a month to keep this running. And you have unlimited websites, 20 gig. So you compare this one and the other one, just think about it and see. So it depends on where you are buying and the price, all right? So you can compare this to the shared on Bluehost and see what decision to make. But this is a reseller account. And with this, you have access to WHM where you actually host websites, okay? All right. Then they have another package that gives you 10.69. And you also have unlimited websites, 40 gigabytes, and all of these features as well. So if there's anything, this is a great deal. That's the moment you are ready to pay for 1 year, this is okay. But with this, I believe they will take they can take monthly. I don't know. Let's see. Once you click here, you enter the domain you want to use. Let's say existing domain. And let's say africahosts.com. And let's see if they'll give us that price or you need to pay. So they need you to create an account first. All right, I'm not going to create an account. I'm interested in the price. So for 12 months is the best deal. But if I pay for 1 month, how much am I? So it's expensive, you see. So if you pay monthly, this is how much you are going to pay. So you get a $10 if you pay for 1 year. I think this is a great deal. And this is reseller. This is not even shared. This is a good package. So the moment you can afford this one, you get it. But still, don't rush into it. You should begin from shared. Just compare and make a good decision. All right. So we've seen the type of hosting they provide over here. HostGator is my next company that I'm going to recommend for shared and reseller. And so when it comes to HostGator, you can see that they do shared hosting. They also do dedicated hosting and VPS. Let me see their VPS prices and we'll compare it to Bluehost. You can see that it is still expensive for VPS. And it looks very similar to Bluehost. Let's see dedicated, and it will also be similar to Bluehost. Very expensive. This is too much. All right. So let's see the reseller. Reseller too, I think it is too expensive. So SiteGround is now the leading reseller hosting company. The next company is called A2 Hosting. With A2 Hosting, you can also get reseller hosting. Let's see their reseller plans. With their reseller hosting, let's see the prices. And this is also good. This is also good, but still not like the SiteGround. All right. Not like SiteGround. So you can check and make your decision. Look at the packages they give and you make your decision. Let me check their VPS. Let me check their VPS if they have VPS here. So their VPS may be much better, but still expensive. This is unmanaged VPS. Okay, still expensive. Okay, with this one, up to this, that. This one is unmanaged, and if you buy this, choose from several Linux distributions to install. This one, you are going to be given root level access. This requires you to install everything to set up the server yourself. With these ones, the managed VPS, they have set up everything for you. So with this one, you are going to be given a server that there's nothing on it, and you have to use SSH to install everything to configure the server, and it takes a lot of skills to get that done. So with that, they are providing two packages. You can look at it, and once you buy it, you see how you can install it. I faced that situation before. I got a server and it was empty, blank. So you had to install, it was a dedicated server. You had to install everything yourself. Then another company that's also popular is Reseller Club. Reseller Club, I have worked with them, but I'm not satisfied with the features they give. Let me check their reseller hosting. I'm not satisfied with the features they give. I'm not satisfied with the features they give. And their prices are quite high compared to what I'm used to. And it looks good here. I see 100 gigabyte, 200 gig data transfer, unlimited website, $22 a month, but you have to pay for 3 years. Let me click on this and see if I can pay for, I already have a domain, African hosts. Let me see if they will accept monthly payment. So if I'm paying for 3 years, I'm paying $800. No, 1 month is how much? 22. Okay, that is not bad. 3 months, 68. That is not too bad. All right. So a lot of things have changed. The time that I worked with them, their features were less. And once they set you up, you have just one IP to work with. And I didn't tell you about dedicated IPs. With this particular service, I don't know which one gave the dedicated IP. Let me see here. Okay, like this. With this VPS, you are given a dedicated IP. So when you see dedicated IP, it is different from dedicated server, because with a dedicated server, we are talking about a server. Here, dedicated IP means you can be given a new IP for your website, because this particular VPS is sharing IP with other customers on the same server, but you can get a dedicated IP. Even though you're on the same server, you have your own IP. Even with shared hosting, you can get a dedicated IP. If you talk to Bluehost that you need dedicated IP, they can give you dedicated IP. So Reseller Club is also another popular shared hosting platform. And from the features I'm seeing now, it is possible things have changed, but previously their features were not much, and you have only one IP for all your clients, because Host9 was amazing. Host9 was giving me a service that even though I'm selling shared hosting, I can assign different IPs to all my customers. So the features that Host9 was giving, I've not even seen it anywhere. It was amazing. Yes. So when I moved to Reseller Club, everything was very difficult and the restrictions were so much. Here, I'm seeing that the features are not too bad. The price is also not too bad. So I'm not ready to try it, but then it looks like things have changed a little bit. But still, I believe I'm going to recommend this SiteGround for reseller hosting, and probably number 2 right now will be the Reseller Club. And please, anytime you are buying hosting and you see Linux and you see Windows, don't ever make the mistake and buy Windows hosting. In your mind, you've been using Windows, so you think Windows is what you need. In the hosting and the cloud environment, Windows is not a market leader. If you buy a Windows hosting account, whether reseller or shared, you are really going to regret it because everything is different from the normal thing. And you can't use it. Well, others are using it, but the hosting that you will be working with others with, you are not going to, they are not on Windows. Okay, so we don't use Windows for hosting. Just go for normal hosting. And if they ever ask you Windows or Linux, you choose Linux because it is not Windows that we use when it comes to hosting servers. So that is very important. If not, one day you see this somewhere and you go and choose Windows. Don't choose Windows because if you get Windows, everything in the hosting industry is different from what you are going to see on Windows. Windows is a different thing on its own when it comes to web hosting and server management. So it's always the Linux servers that we work with. All right. So over here, we have seen different companies we can work with. And the last thing I'm going to say before we close right now is to talk to you a little bit about Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a secure content distribution network, or CDN, that uses proxy servers and an edge computing architecture to deliver content safely and quickly from the cloud. With Cloudflare, you can be on a normal shared hosting server, but they can give you the service of clustered hosting or cloud hosting. The way we talked about the infrastructure of cloud hosting, Cloudflare will tell you that once you have your hosting, keep your existing hosting company and let us manage your website for you. So you add your website to Cloudflare, they will connect with your existing server and give you new name servers to use. All your traffic will come through Cloudflare. Cloudflare will manage the distribution of your traffic, and they will serve your site from their multiple CDNs across the world, and your website can load faster. Cloudflare is good in a way that even when your site is down, they can even serve your site for you. If your server is down, they can even serve your website for you. They supercharge your website to make it faster, and they provide a lot of free features like SSL and a whole lot of free features, including security to your website. With Cloudflare, what the big companies are paying for, you can use on Cloudflare for free. Cloudflare also has paid features that can give you advanced features with Cloudflare. Later, when we start managing our servers, we will deal with Cloudflare. You'll see more about Cloudflare. But to end the class, I'm going to play one short clip about Cloudflare. And after that, we will end the lesson. So I believe my audio is still working. When it starts playing and you can hear the audio, please let me know. And after that, we will end the class for today.
You're a webmaster. You know what you're up against. You get spammed, hacked, and crawled. You get popular, which is awesome, but can't handle the surge in traffic, which is not awesome. Your server goes offline, often at the worst possible time. Search engines punish you when your site loads slow. Then there's that uneasy feeling about some of your visitors. Are they friendly? Are they the embodiment of pure evil? How can you know? Feeling alone? The big guys have their abuse teams and expensive solutions. They're covered. With Cloudflare, you can be covered too. Cloudflare is a community of webmasters just like you. Our goal, give you access to the resources previously reserved only for the biggest sites. Cloudflare protects your site by pooling the knowledge of hundreds of webmasters into a virtual fraud and abuse team. Like a neighborhood watch. If a hacker or spammer is spotted on one site, Cloudflare instantly responds to thwart the attack. Cloudflare uses the size of its community to get access to the fastest internet routes and fattest pipes. Cloudflare speeds up your whole website by distributing its content across the web. This also means that Cloudflare can keep it online even if your server goes down. Cloudflare is easy to use and quick to set up. No hardware, no software. You keep your existing hosting provider and don't need to change your code. Any site with its own domain can be up and running in less than 5 minutes. The internet is great because of millions of webmasters just like you. It's time to band together. Join us.
All right, so join us at Cloudflare, join us at Rate Africa, and let's learn how to host website, manage website, and do greater things. Tomorrow, we will continue with our studies. Make sure your domain is ready. Send it to support@rateafrica.com, and let's move on to the next level. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next class. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir. And this is where we bring our lesson to a close. We'll meet same time tomorrow to continue our learning. Thank you all. Have a good night, and then we'll see you all, God willing, tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.